So I have decided to discuss a very important topic, that government policies and program for entrepreneurship and industry development in India. That topic is very important, and this is very much related with the extension education program. And under that, we will have to learn that what kind of policies government is adopting, and what are the impact of these government policies and program, how they can motivate and initiate the startup program, and various that kind of that incentive those they are giving through the policies to enhance and to improve the business scenario in the country. So that we'll see and we'll discuss in this topic. Now, the importance of government in this topic, we'll try to learn that importance of government policies and program for entrepreneurship and industrial development, and then key improve and develop organizational extension program that we'll discuss over here in this chapter. Now, initially, let us have an introduction that what kind of that policies and the program the government is having, and how they are what kind of that impact is on the entrepreneurship development. Entrepreneurship development is one of the element for the entrepreneurship, and resultant creation of employment and wealth is a major mean element for the promotion of micro and small enterprises, particularly for first generation entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship and resultant creation of employment and wealth is a major mean for inclusive development. We know that if we are able to uh, mm, eh, we are able to improve the entrepreneurship and this kind of that startup program, if we are able to create the employment and wealth through this program, then it's inclusive, we can say that the inclusive growth and development, that policy which we have adopted. Hence, entrepreneurship development has been one of the priorities of the Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises. SMSE, this is the small and medium scale industry that enterprises, which is the department that came under the Ministry of MSME. They have the priorities that how they can have the generate new entrepreneurship, that opportunities in the country, and how they can motivate the people to have take the startups in various sector of the industry. With this and in view, the ministry has been providing financial assistance for setting up EDI, and also for upgrading and modernizing those that have already been founded here too. Have to. The scheme is primarily to assist the EDIs in developing and modernizing infrastructure related to items like buildings, equipments, and training aids, beside other support services. So then the scheme for entrepreneurship through subsidized loan like Integrated Rural Development Program (IRDP) and the Prime Minister Rozgar Yojana, and schemes to provide skills like training of rural youth for self-employment, TRISEM, and the scheme for strengthen the gender component like development of women and children. These are few programs that the government, in a way, is supplementing efforts to developing entrepreneurship skills among unemployment person by arranging for conduct of suitable training program, falling under various trades to cater requirement of different set to target groups in the area of manufacturing, business and services sector. While the responsibility of conducting courses needed transform the large section of underemployed persons inhabiting countryside and urban centers into self-employed, wages employed lot. Lending hand coming from the Union India administration, by the way, meeting of the cost of needed infrastructure for the EDI to conduct training program required deserve appreciation, since it clearly show intention of central government to develop entrepreneurship efforts in the country for tackling unemployment, underemployment, and poverty issues in right earnest. So these are the way actually the government deal with. What are the government policy for entrepreneurship in India? That to be the part of that discussion which to be led by the country. So what are those that the procurement and marketing support a very important aspect, that if we purchase the product from these small industry or enterprises, and then we'll also support them. We'll also provide them the market where they can have opportunity to sold those goods. That to be ultimately being handled and provided by the government, and then it will having the different kind of support that will be there. Prime Minister Employment Generation Program, that is also very important. That how we can have, if a country like us where we have a huge number of people, those who are unemployed, and we are the people of the young generation, that we have a population. It's about 60-65% people. They are in between the 18 to 45 year of age. So that kind of generation, if we are having, then we have to focus that how we can have, we can convert this entire the labor into the capital. And if we are able to mobilize that each person should do something for contribution and national building efforts, then we can win the battle in within, we will turn the entire table in the favor of our people. That the Prime Minister and Minister Employment Generation Program is also one of the important program, and that to be run by the, and they have specific the funds they have allocated, and that can be released by without any unnecessary type of that administrative that problem. Dairy enterprises and development scheme, that at a small level, we know that the farmers, they are having the 70-80% farmers, they are having the small size of holding in our country. So if we'll support them with the dairy enterprises and entrepreneurship development scheme, we'll provide them the good breed of animal, and then they develop the breeds, and then they have the good milk production, and that market is there, so they can earn they can enhance their earning through this subsidiary, that agro-based industry. Then we have for ST, SC, and that kind of the huge population, those who are very poor and backward. For them, Ambedkar Society Innovation and Incubation Mission, that is also one of the mission which is started under the government, and they are addressing the STSCs and other people for good kind of that thing. So these all they are the things, those who are to be addressed by the people, and then they have this kind of thing, that they will address the situation in their favor. Now the scheme for formalization of micro food processing enterprises, that is for example the bread factory, or sometimes that the small agro-based unit, sometimes the ketchup, or sometimes the jam unit, or like the fruit based that product which is available. These kind of that micro-based industry will promote. Then we'll have a very good opportunity to create the employment, and we will have a very good opportunity to quickly make self-reliance. Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana is also very much important, where we can have the opportunity to give the loan up to 50,000 rupees, and that can be given to the small the people of the small enterprises, and without any that much of that inquiry or like that. Then Pradhan Mantri Swanidhi and Credit Financial Assistance. These are few schemes those I have discussed over here. They are very important, and through them very good opportunity. Now we will have a discussion on them. One will discuss that what time. So that Ambedkar and innovation. Why information about Ambedkar Social Innovation Mission under venture capital for actually this scheme, and they have venture capital fund they have provided. And then the animal husbandry infrastructure development program scheme facilitated incentivization of investment in establishment of infrastructure for dairy and meat processing, value addition, and establishment of and in the private sector. That to be that to be the another because the government is giving subsidy and other kind of facilities, so you can start this kind of thing. And then the credit and financial then the credit and financial assistance. This topic provides information about credit and financial assistance that then dairy enterprise development scheme. This page provides information about dairy enterprise development scheme which implemented by National Bank of Agriculture and then Rural Development NABARD. And the infrastructure support that this topic provides information about infrastructure support and upgradation. These are the few things. Then the interest subvention scheme for MSCs, that scheme for 2% interest subvention on prompt repayment of the Shishu loan, and under the Pradhan Mantri Mudra for a period of 12 months. That can be initiative and incentive. So where the not much of that kind of that administrative that formalities are required. Then livestock insurance scheme. This provides information about the livestock insurance and a centrally scheme implemented by Department of Animal Husbandry, Dairying and Fisheries. Here the insurance to the animals, and that to be very much for the animal for the owners, because sometimes because of any reason if animal died or any animal is unproductive, then the process to be there by the insurance company, and that to be there to be monitored by the government of India. Animal development. PM Swanidhi is special micro for street vendors. That PM Swanidhi that for street vendors and these the small enterprises that give. Then the Prime Minister Employment Generation that program provide information about Prime Minister Employment Generation for creation of urban enterprises, about technology, upgradation, etc. So these are the few important things those who are to be done. And now we have the procurement and marketing support. That this topic provides information about the procurement marketing support, how they can have the development of the storage, and how they can procure the entire the production of these small units. And then they also facilitate the marketing facility to how they can have opportunity to clear their stock, whatever. These all kinds of that procurement and marketing support that is also very much important, and that to be provided by the government. Scheme for information for micro food processing enterprises, that and the skill development, and we provide information about skill development and training program. That we know that the development program was universally worked in the country since last 7 years, and we have a lot of through this we have developed the employment opportunity at grassroots level. Stand Up India, that SUI, that scheme for financing ST and women entrepreneurs, and technology upgradation. This topic about technology upgradation. So these all are things those who are done by the government with various that the schemes those we have discussed right now. And through this we have opportunity to build the nation again, and we will provide the employment opportunity to the mass population of the country. Now, role of government in promoting enterprises. That what is the role of the government? That to be very much clear. The government play an important role in the development of enterprises, entrepreneurs. The central and state governments have set a number of schemes for provide promote enterpriseship. They are small industry, then we then the Management of Development Institute and the Enterprises Development. That these kind of that program we have in our country, and because of them we know that the huge number of the population is doing this thing, and because of that we will have a very good opportunity to country at so many points. discussion on that. Well, we will recap that what actually the role of government in promoting entrepreneurship. The government plays an important role in development of entrepreneurship. The central and state government have set up a number of institutions to promote entrepreneurship. They are small industrial development organizations. SIDO formulates policy for the development of small scale industries in the country. It provides support for promotion of rural entrepreneurship. And then the Management Development Institute, the MDI conduct management development program to improve managerial effectiveness in the industry. They develop that the competencies, how we can have the skill sets that the promotion of managerial that competencies into the mass. And then the Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India, that EDI, has helped to set up 12 state level that are exclusive entrepreneurship development institutes and centers. And the fourth, the All India Small Scale Industry Board that the SSI and the AISSIB advises the government on all issues related to the small scale sector. It determines the program and policies for development of small scale industries. It is an exporting their product into the foreign countries also. So that kind of that competencies and the program, those who are being initiated by the central and the state together. Then the National Institute of Entrepreneur and Small Business Development, that the NIS would supervises the activities of the different agencies involved in the entrepreneur development program. Then the National Institute of Small Industry Extension Training. That is also very much important, that the objective of the institute is to direct and coordinate the syllabi for training of small entrepreneurs. It organizes seminars for small entrepreneurs and managers. And National Small Industries Corporation Limited, that NIS provides a vast market for the product of the small industry. Through its marketing network, it also helps the small units in the exporting their product to the foreign countries. Then we'll have MSME policy, that the policy for primary goal of industry, that marginal and small advise industrial development infrastructure decide, to example, the state help to small industry units for specifying financial targets. The advance of business has been viewed as an essential component of the development of system. Written in 5 years, that plan. The appearance of planned economy from 1951 and the consent industry policy pursued by the government of India, both government and organizations reserve the specific position of market, micro, small, medium enterprises in the Indian economy. Government targets and the goal towards the industry, including small scale industry, were declared through industrial policy resolution (IPRS). That is also very much important. That because of that we will have so many good things, that the MSME policy is taking an important part in the industrial development at a small level, at rural level. So that is also to be under the policy, where they provide the loan, they provide the incentives, they provide the subsidies, they provide the infrastructure, marketing facilities, and that procurement and all all kind of things they do, and they do in the interest of the MSME. Now, industrial policy resolution in 1991, you know that we have introduced the liberalization, that the barriers among the industrial development and labor reforms we have started in 1991. For the first time, the government of India postponed the new MSME policy titled Approach Measures for Advancing, Reinforcing and Enhancing Title Modest and Town Undertaking in the Parliament on August 6, 1991. This strategy augmented as far as the possible for minor segment, expelled the professional limitations and pursued business and industry related services as a small industrial unit, keeping pace with the modest unit. The small and ancillary industry were exempted from the authorizing for all article of manufacture, and they which are not secured by the public sector. The government investment on 5.5 billion and other area conditions was withdrawn. All business linked service and business ventures with an investment limit as those who are taking, regardless of area, were pursued as a small industry unit. Another plan for incorporate infrastructure development and advancement for small industrial units was given the cooperation of the state government and the financial institution. So this kind of that policy which we have started in 1991 for the first time in India, and we have augmented that the old that the colonial law, those who are becoming the hindrance in the development of the industry in the country. So that unique work was done under the leadership of the finance minister and the former Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh, the financial expert, because he was the governor of India, Reserve Bank of India, and he is also the member of agent of he was also the member of that IMF, the Indian International Monetary Fund. So that because of that kind of that huge experience which he is having, that the government of India has started that immediately under the leadership of Mr. Narasimha Rao, the liberalization which took place, and then that was the U-turn in the policy of the government, and then we have opened our country for various multinationals, and they came and they have started with the agreement and the and they have started investing in infrastructure and other that the opportunities for the growth and development those who are necessary, and through that we have given the employment opportunity to huge mass of the country. The new industrial policy was first then reviewed and introduced in 1991. The rising financial scenario in the change levelized and aggressive monetary environment required basic and major changes in the policy structure setup of the government, improvement of SSI, small scale industries. The fundamental goal of industry policy 19 was to make friendly situation for the small industrial units to adapt to rising difficulties to raising of globalization, to concrete that concentrate completely on the advancement and improvement of a small industry unit. A different ministry of a small industrial unit and agro rural industry was made. The two ministers they have got the job. Now the national equity fund that also will help in the financially to exercise small industry. The target of NFE, that national equity fund scheme, to provide equity type finance to businesses for setting up new tasks in the tiny or small industrial sector, for undertaking extension, modernization, technology upgradation, and enhancement of existing modest small industry and service enterprises, and for reinstallation of practical built unit. In this scheme, the expense out not to be surpassed rupees 50 lakh, up to 50 lakh they have given, and this is very much helpful for the people those who are in the small and scale industry, and they have enjoyed that lucrative fund which was given by the government, and through which we have created so many that employment opportunity of the country of the people. Now the infrastructure, that IIDS scheme, IIDS was launched in 1994. The target of giving essential infrastructure facility like power, distribution network, telecom, water, road. And that we know that the Golden Party that project was also started, and the Prime Minister that the road Yojana is also, and then the pollution control facility, storage bank, and marketing outlet, common administration facilities, and technological backup administration, and so on. That these things they are here. Again, I'll try to discuss that the role of government in promoting enterprises, that I have discussed that in thoroughly, that due to these kind of that NSE and NFE and all that SSI and all these kind of that the liberalization policies and the subsidy and the incentives and the modernization and investment on the upgradation, all these kind of that assistance to be given by the to the small industry sector, because because under the threat of the globalization they are feeling alone. So that kind of that assistance to be given by the government, and ultimately it helps to promoting the business opportunities in the country, and ultimately the government has got the entire thing in the That once again, I would like to discuss that the entrepreneur development business communication is in government policies and programs that we have discussed thoroughly. Now, through the discussion we have learned that how the government policies they have imported and all the things to the importance we have discussed. We have discussed the key important development organizational that thing we have. Then the introductory part we have discussed how the things are moved. Now, what are the government policies for entrepreneurship development that we have discussed the procurement and marketing support that how they can support and the procurement of the industrial goods which we produced by the small industries and how they can provide facilitate the marketing facility to them and that all to be the part of that discussion of the topic. Then the Prime Minister Employment Generation, the PMEG generation program we have discussed and how the central level, the Prime Minister level, the entire the upgradation program to be launched by the government and the dairy enterprise development schemes also being discussed by the government of India. Then the Ambedkar Social Innovation and Incubation Mission that to be upliftment of the scheduled caste businessmen and how they can have the better opportunity to start up the new business the avenue in the country. And the scheme for micro and food processing enterprises that agro-based industry in a particular rural area that how they can promote. Then the Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana that is vendors for the small vendors the loan to be given up to the 50,000 rupees without that much of then the PM Swanidhi and credit and financial assistance. These are the few important that the assignment those who are still in the progress in the country and through which the government is trying to assist the people of the country that how they can have this kind of that opportunity and how they can enjoy this kind of thing. Then the Ambedkar social motivation that the annual husbandry infrastructure development fund and the credit and financial assistance, dairy enterprise development scheme and the infrastructure support that and then the interest that subvention scheme for MSME and livestock insurance scheme, then the PM Swanidhi, and then the Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana, and the Prime Minister Employment Generation that we have discussed that how they can have. Then the procurement and marketing support scheme for formalization of marketing, food processing enterprises, skill development and training, then the Stand Up India SUI scheme, and then the technology upgradation. These are the few important that the program those who are supported the industrial and the entrepreneurship through which we have achieved the handsome growth in the entire country and we are enjoying that thing that right now we are having. Then the role of government in promoting that the government play an important role in the development of entrepreneurship. The central and state government have set up number of that institution to promote entrepreneurship. They are like that the small industrial development organization. Yesido formulate policies for development of a small-scale industry in the country. It provides support to production of rural entrepreneurship. Then the management development (MDI) is also very much important. Conduct management development program for improve the managerial that the management skills in the educated mass and that then promote and then motivating them to have a startup with new enterprises. Then the entrepreneurship development in the Institute of India, the ADI has also helped to set up a 12 state that level that technical and skill enhancement program and like that. And then I said we has also All India Small Scale Industrial Board that also help government on all issues related to the small scale sector. It determines the program and policies for development of small scale industry. It's exporting the product to foreign countries. Now the National Institute of Enterprises and Small Business Development that an institute supervises the activities of the different agencies involved in the entrepreneurship development program. National Institute of Small Industry Extension Training that the objective of the institute is to direct and to coordinate the syllabi of training of small entrepreneurs. It organizes seminars for small entrepreneurs and the managers to uplift their competencies to manage the businesses that enterprises those they are heading and also they are providing the training to the people those who want to serve in this particular type of that industry which is being emerging industry in the country. And then the national then the national small industry extension program, the activity of institute directly coordinate the syllabi that we have discussed. Now the National Small Industry Corporation Limited, this is also a very premier institution that they have. they have decided to help also to a small unit of exporting their product to foreign countries. And then we see that what kind of that other things are there. Now we'll go the MSME policies. This is the marginal itself that the policy is very important. The primary goal to industrial MSME policy resolution was to advance industrial development and side to example of state help to a small industry unit for satisfying financial tasks. The advancement of business has been viewed as an essential component for the development of the in 5 years plan. The appearance of a planned economy for 1990-2051 and the consequent industrial policy pursued by the government of India, both government and authorized reserve the specific position of micro and small medium in economy. Government targets and goal towards industry, including small scale industry, were declared through industrial policy resolution, that IPRS. That is very important. That through that we'll have this kind of thing. Then the National Policy Resolution 1991, we know that the liberalization being took place under the leadership of Mr. Dr. Manmohan Singh was working as a finance minister on that time, and he was the former governor of Reserve Bank of India. And because he was also having the work in the International Monetary Fund, and then that's why he had one of the Indian economy, and he had given the liberalization, and there are plenty of labor reforms was also being carried out under his leadership. So that kind of that 1991 that policy was further that reviewed in 1999, because the India was little bit that open for multinationals and other that the international agencies, the financial institutions to come and invest in the country for various activities and the development and the providing rural employment and the employment to the urban the liberated mass. So that will be started in 1991 and then reviewed in 1991, that the new industrial policy, the rising financial scenario in the levelized aggressive monetary environment, requisite basic that major changes in the policy structure setup of the improvement of SSI, small scale industry. The fundamental goal of industry policy in 1990 was to make up a friendly situation for a small industry unit to adapt to the rising difficulties to globalization, to compete in the competitive atmosphere of globalization. That is very important. That how they can survive in that competitive scenario. So that is there in the policy. And to concrete that the concentrate completely on the advancement and improvement of a small industrial unit, a different ministry of that small industries unit and agro rural industries was made. That is why the agro industry and these industries they are made. Then the National Equity Fund scheme, NEF, was also the target of NEF scheme is to provide equity to type finance to businesses for setting up new tasks in the country in tiny and small industry sector, for undertaking extension, modernization, technology upgradation, and enhancement of existing models, small industries and services enterprises, and installation of practical of the unit. This scheme the expense out of not supposed to if it is within 50 lakh rupees, that can be provided at a lucrative interest rate by the NEF, that the National Equity Fund which was created. Then the integrated information that IIDS, we know that was launched in 1994 with the target of giving essential infrastructure facility like power, distribution network, telecommunication, water, roads, and that we know that at national level we have a golden coordinator, that the project for golden coordinator road development project, and the Prime Minister that the rural Sadak Yojana was also there, and this kind of that activity was being carried out in the entire country, and they help lot to develop the country in a different way, and then they are there to be there in this. So through this we have achieved the both the objective that which we have discussed, that the importance of government policy and program for entrepreneurship and industrial development, and we know that the key improve the development organizational extensions that we have also discussed, and we have covered this topic, the government policies and program for entrepreneurship and industrial development thoroughly. I think now you have a better understanding, and we will have a very good understanding and clarity, with the clarity that what impact of these government policies and program, those who are being initiated by the previous government, and they are still continuing in the country, and how they are developing, how they are helping in employment generation and the growth and development of the country as a whole. So these all things we have discussed over here, and I hope that we'll have a better understanding in future portion of it. Thank you very much for participating in the in